now is Jeremy Bash, former chief of staff at the CIA and the Pentagon during the Obama administration, who knows full well the pressure of these jobs and how hard it is to be taking the incoming all the time from the press as well as from all of the other countries around the world.
I sure do.
So this is now a delay. It's complicated. It's more than 100 pages. A very complex deal. Should we have some confidence that they can pull this off, that it won't break down immediately?
Well, Secretary Blinken expressed confidence, Admiral Kirby expressed confidence. So I'm going to go with what they're assessing to be the situation. And they've spoken to players in the region. But look, this is fragile. I mean, this is really difficult implementation steps. And as you noted, on Sunday, we expect 3 women, Israelis, who have been badly beaten, maybe assaulted, raped, mistreated.
They have been sexually assaulted.
They will be the first to come out. And like that, what happened last November when we began to see people come out, maybe that will give some momentum to the process. But talking about the Americans, as you rightly noted, in the first tranche, we expect to see 65-year-old Keith Siegel, whose wife Aviva previously was a hostage and was released. We expect to see Sagi Dekelchen from Kibbutz Nir Oz, a 36-year-old father of 3. And I spoke to his father, Jonathan, yesterday, and they are certainly expecting him to come out. But we are also thinking about, as you referenced, Idan Alexander, a military-age male, an American citizen, who may not be in the first tranche, and his parents, are going to be very concerned, as we all would be concerned, that if we don't implement this right, will they see their loved one? And there are also the remains of Omer and Itai and Gadi and Haggai. And so there is Gadi and Judy Haggai Weinstein. And so there is a deep concern that the Americans who have been held for so long will not come out if the parties don't stick to the deal. And I think on Monday at noon, it's going to be the Trump administration's job to hold the party's feet to the fire. There can't be any spiking the football, no declaration of mission accomplished. This isn't a time to celebrate. This is a time to redouble our efforts to ensure that Hamas sticks to the deal and that Israel can also facilitate the release that they're obligated to undertake and that these hostages can all come home. By the way, Andrea, I don't think this means peace is breaking out in the Middle East. Hamas is on their back foot. We've got players, including the Houthi, who are attacking naval vessels as we speak. We are in a very dangerous period. We've got a potential vacuum in Syria where the Assad regime went down. So I think the incoming Trump team is going to have its hands full in the Middle East. Any effort to say, let's not get involved, let's wait and see, let's let it play out, or however people are thinking about, there's a mess over there, I'm not going to get involved. That's a mistake. If we don't get involved, stay involved diplomatically with our military presence, with our intelligence presence and our partnerships, it's going to come back to bite us hard.
Well, in fact, I wrote a story on this very subject that posted yesterday, right before all of the ceasefire, on the fact that President Trump has said, that he defeated ISIS. And it's true that ISIS was soundly defeated in terms of Raqqa being liberated and ISIS prisoners being taken in great numbers during his first term. But that this is not our problem, he wrote, I'm paraphrasing here, and suggesting that U.S. troops would be withdrawn. And we remember how much he pressured General Mattis for withdrawing troops from Syria before. We now have 2,000 troops that we know of. And there is the potential, according to every expert I've spoken to, of ISIS resurging. Now, they're already resurgent online with their propaganda. Incredible growth in what they've been able to accomplish in the last 4 years alone, influencing lone wolves allegedly like the man in New Orleans. So, the truck attacker. But they have followers around the world and they have cells around the world. And they can also regain a base in Syria with this vacuum, correct?
That's right. And terrorism is a significant threat. I know we all focus on the great power competition between the United States and China, the United States and Russia, and those are undoubtedly the most consequential geopolitical dynamics we're looking at and facing as a nation. But terrorism is a major threat. We've got, there's going to be remnants of Hamas still in Gaza, including other non-Hamas elements, PIJ and others. You've got a very strong PIJ and even Hamas footprint in the West Bank. You've got Hezbollah trying to figure out how to rebuild its capability in Lebanon. You've got a vacuum in Syria. You've got ISIS remnants inspiring, as you said, people online in a global jihad. So the United States cannot take its foot off the gas in terms of a counterterrorism strategy. And again, it's going to be up to the incoming team to do this. And I just want to say, Andrew, a lot of discussion about who gets credit for what, who gets credit for taking out Al-Qaeda or bin Laden or ISIS. Here's the deal. National security is a bipartisan team sport. And to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, a lot can get done if you don't worry about who gets the credit. A lot of people are invoking Reagan because of the peace through strength idea that Trump has been talking about, and because we're heading towards an inauguration day reminiscent of when the U.S. hostages in Iran came home on that inauguration weekend. If Reagan were watching, I think he'd say, forget about taking credit, people. Let's get all the hostages home. Let's get all the Americans safe. Let's protect our national security interests, and then we can all be satisfied.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your experience at CIA, Pentagon, and since understanding the region so well. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.
And in just 90 seconds, more about the deal between Israel and Hamas with the top Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee amid critical confirmation hearing for the Trump cabinet picks. You're watching Andrea Mitchell Reports. This is MSNBC.